Welcome back in a new video. In this video, let's take an overview of the contractor versus employer applications. Okay, so let's start. So, first you can see why study obligation. Understanding the obligation of both parties is essential for every professional involved in project management or contract administration. So here is why this topic is so important. You can see here first we have the defined rights and responsibilities of both parties. So it defines the rights and responsibilities of both the employer and the contractor. Second, it ensures fair risk allocation so that each party carries only what's reasonable under the contract. Third, here you can see reduces the chances of disputes and claims. So it reduces disputes and claims by making you can say the expectation clear. So fourth, it helps us to analyze delays, duty, and claims correctly by identifying who failed in their duty. So, in the last, it forms the foundation of contract administration. So, everything from payments to variations, from claims to performance monitoring, depends on understanding these obligations. Okay, so let's begin with the employer's key obligations. So, under FIDIC and most international contracts, the employer has several critical duties to ensure that the contractor can perform efficiently. So first, we have here the provide the site access. So the employer must hand over the site or at least the area required for work on the agreed date. If access is delayed, it immediately affects the baseline schedule and the contractor may become entitled to an extension of time and cost. Second, we have provide employers requirements. So, in additional contract like the FIDIC Red Book, the employer provides drawings, specifications, and technical data. So, this must be clear, coordinated, and suitable for the construction. Otherwise, errors or omissions may lead to claims. Third, we have ensure financial arrangement. So the employer must prove financial capacity to pay for the project before commencement. So payments, both interims and final, must be made on time as per contract, usually within 56 days under FIDIC law. Next, we have appoint the engineer. So the employer must appoint an engineer who is independent in decision making but acts on the employer's behalf. The engineer administers the contract, issues instructions, and certifies payments, variations, and EOT claims. The last we have issue variations and decisions. So the engineer usually through the engineers must issue decisions, approvals, and variations promptly and fairly to avoid the project disruption. In short, if the employer delays or fails in any of these duties, it can directly lead to the claims and schedule delays. Next, we have employer's additional obligation. Apart from the main duties, the employer also has supporting obligation that keep the project running smoothly. First, we have provide necessary permits or approval, such as land use permits, uh, rights of way, or environmental clearance when these are under the employer scope. Second, cooperative with the contractor and provide timely decision. So this means timely decision reviews and the coordination meetings. Third, we have supply free issue material or equipment. So if mentioned in the contract. For example, special items procured by the employer but used by the contractor. Last, we have insurance obligations. So, depending on contract conditions, the employer must insure their property, free issue materials, or existing structures. When the employer neglects these responsibilities, the project can face stoppage, and the contractor gains the right to claim time and cost compensation. So I hope this is clear. Okay, so now let's turn to the contractor's obligation, which are more execution focused. Under the contract, the contractor is expected to perform and deliver the work in accordance with all technical, legal, and safety standards. Okay. First, we have here the execute and complete work. So the contractor must construct, test, and complete the works as per drawings, specifications, and within the contract time. Delivering safety with quality and within the schedule is the contractor's prime responsibility. Second, we have design responsibility. Here you can see I have mentioned here yellow and silver books. Okay, so in design build or EPC contracts, the contractor not only the constructs but also design the works. The design must meet all performance and functional requirements defined in the employer's requirement. Any design error are fully the contractor's responsibility. Okay, let me repeat it. If there will be any design errors, that will be the fully contractor's responsibility. Okay, so next we have provide resources. So the contractor must mobilize and maintain sufficient manpower, material, equipment, and management staff to meet project milestones. So poor resource allocation is one of the most common causes of contractor delay. Okay, so next we have compliance with law. So the contractor must follow all applicable labor law, safety regulations, environmental standards, and taxation rules of the host country. Last, we have obtained permits. So usually the employer handles major project permits, but the contractor is responsible for construction related permits like site safety, cranes, or temporary utilities. Okay, so failure to meet these obligations can expose the contractor to liquidated damages, termination, or contract breach. Okay. After that, we have contractors' additional obligation. So, apart from the major obligation, there are some other contractual duties that the contractor must fulfill. So, first we have submit program schedule. So, using recognized software like Primavera P6 or MS Project, the schedule must show activity sequencing, resources, and milestones, and must be updated regularly. It becomes the base for delay analysis and EOT claims. So, second, we have here provide performance security guarantee. So, to ensure the employer that the project will be completed as per contract terms. So it should be they should be provide performance security or bank guarantee. Then we have insurance. So maintain insurance for works, uh, plant or equipment covering risk like the accidents, damage, or third party liability. Next, we have here the maintain site safety. Okay, so sorry, I this missed one. Quality control and testing. So the contractor must establish the quality assurance system, carry out inspections, and maintain testing records. Okay. Then we have maintain site safety here. Okay, so site safety actually includes implementing safety plans, training workers, and ensuring zero accidents on the site. Last, we have rectified defects during the defects notification period. Okay. So after completion, if any defect arises, the contractor must repair it at his own cost within the specified DNP. Okay. So all these activities demonstrate the contractor's professional and legal responsibilities from the start to finish. Okay, now let's take an overview of the comparative view for the employer versus contractor obligation. Here we have the aspects. Next, in the next column we have employer obligations and we have contractor obligations. Site access, you can see, provide site possessions on time. Then contractor obligations, use site responsibly, or design, provide employers design. So under the contractor obligation, design responsibility, finance, ensure financial arrangement, timely payments, then manage project cost within the contract prices, supervision, appoint engineer for administration, submit program reports, and progress risk. So bear risk allocated to employer, then bear construction risk. Insurance, employer's property, free issue material, then works worker, equipment, and contractor's liability. So I hope comparison is clear between the employer and contractors obligations. Okay. So next we have employer's breach of obligations. So, when the employer fails to meet their obligation, several contractual consequences follow. Here we have the lead side possessions. Here you can see EOT and prolongation cost. So, the contractor becomes entitled to extension of time and prolongation cost for idle labor, equipment, and overheads. Next, we have the lead payment. So, the contractor can claim interest on delayed payment and, in extreme cases, even suspend work or you can say terminate the contract under FIDIC Clause 16. So, next, we have failure to appoint engineer. Okay, so uh, it leads to administrative delays and confusion over instructions. Okay, so last we have the failure to provide approvals. So it can result in work, the stop and valid contractor claims for the both time and cost. So all of these situations can be prevented through proactive employer management and timely decision making. Next, we have contractors breach of obligations. So, on the other hand, if the contractor fails to meet obligations, the consequences can be serious. So, first we have delay in work. So, a delay in work, the subject to liquidated damage as defined in the contract. Second, we have failure to provide program. The employer or engineer may withhold payments until a proper schedule is submitted. Third, we have poor quality work. It leads to rework at the contractor's cost and possibly rejection of the payments certificates. Then last, we have breach of safety law. So it can attract penalties, site suspension, or even contract termination under health and safety regulations. Therefore, the contractor must perform duties diligently and maintain strong planning documentation and quality assurance. Here we have the example for the employed breach. So here you can see employed lease handing over a section of site for 2 months. Contractor claims extension of time, EOT, uh, prolongation cost. Okay, so site overheads, equipment, idle time. So suppose the employer delays handling over a section of the site for 2 months. Because of this, the contractor cannot start foundation work as planned. So the contractor then performs a primary schedule analysis, which clearly shows the critical path shifting due to this delay. Uh, Based on the analysis, the contractor submit a claim for extension of time and prolongation cost, such as site overheads, equipment, standby, and supervision cost. Uh, if properly documented and justified, so the contractor is legally entitled to both time and cost compensation. I hope this is clear. So next we have one more example for the contractor breach. So the contractor fails to, here you can see, contractor fails to mobilize resources as per program, then delay cost, late completion of milestone, then employer applies liquidated damages, and then contractor cannot claim EOT since delay is his own responsibility. So the contractor fails to mobilize resources as per the approved program because of poor planning and late material procurement. One of the project milestones is delayed. So in this case, the employer applies liquidated damages for the late completion as specified in the contract. The contractor cannot claim any OT because the delay is entirely within his own responsibility. So, this example clearly shows how understanding your obligations helps you to avoid financial loss and disputes. Okay. Finally, we have here the conclusion. Okay, so now let's conclude. The obligation of the employer and contractor are, you can say, the complementary and interconnected. If one party fails, the other party's performance is also affected, leading to claim disputes or delay analysis. So, understanding these obligations is the core of FEDE contract management. It's the foundation for analyzing delay, responsibility, EOT, entitlement, and claim preparation. So, when both parties respect their the contractual obligations, projects are smoother, more transparent, and less prone to conflict. Okay, so I hope everything is clear related to the contractor versus employer obligation. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video.